we're back with another week of fall 2024 anime season. Whether you should watch it, you should drop it, is another episode where I just go through all the anime that I watched this week. And if you haven't seen part 1, make sure to check that out because there's some great anime there. But this week we're talking about the new stuff that came out, the new stuff that I'm watching. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And we're starting off with a magical girl anime. Now, don't judge it, give it a chance. Now, I haven't seen a lot of magical girl anime. The last one that I've seen was Madoka Magica, and that was a very long time ago. And of course, gushing over magical girls.
Right to jail, right away.
Now, this one is called Magi Lumiere Magical Girls Incorporated, and it sounds exactly what it is. It's a magical girl anime where essentially we see this new up-and-coming magical company trying to compete with some of the other bigger companies, right? It's an anime about like the industry of a magical girl business. Now, it is magical girl, so we are going to get transformation, but I will say, at least comparing it to some of the very few magical girl anime that I have seen, they don't really seem to overdo it with the fan service. There's hardly any fan service at all in this anime, so that might actually be a win for some people that don't like that type of content. So definitely check it out. I mean, the first couple of minutes just open up, completely action-packed, definitely gets your attention right away. And honestly, I kind of want to see how this whole industry works out, right? So definitely, I would say check this one out. I think people are going to enjoy it, and it might be a little underrated anime of the season, but let me know what you think. Now we're gonna start off with one of the bigger anime names in the history of the entertainment medium, and that of course is Dragon Ball Daima. Now, with how big Dragon Ball is, there's definitely a lot of eyes in here, and I gotta say, after watching the first episode, I liked it, right? Now, I don't want to get into the argument of whether this is canon or not. Who knows, right? I will say, at least from the first episode, that nostalgia is over 9,000. I mean, I remember growing up watching the Buu Saga. I remember my father buying me the VHS. Yes, it was a very long time ago. But yes, I remember watching the Buu Saga with the VHS. And, you know, as a kid, all of that, just the first like 10 minutes of the episode, just kind of hit all those nostalgia points to where by the time we actually got to like the new Daima content, I was already sold, right? So at the very least, from the first episode, I think it's very good. Now, I will say, this is more kind of like GT. It does give me the GT vibe, right? I mean, if you have seen Dragon Ball GT, Goku essentially gets turned into a kid, and it goes from there, right? Here, it's kind of like the same vibe, except that now everybody is being turned into a kid. It does seem to be like the plot is going to be a little silly, not to be taken too seriously, but we're going to see where it goes, right? Because again, from where we start in episode 1 to how it's going to end, I believe this is going to get like 20 episodes. It might go absolutely crazy, right? And it does seem like the timeline here is right before Super and right after Dragon Ball, the Majin Buu Saga, right? So again, whether this is canon or not, I don't really want to argue too much about it. All I know is that at the very least, it was a very fun watch with episode 1, and I'm gonna keep watching and see how it goes. Maybe by episode 5, I'll get tired of it. I will say, Dragon Ball stopped being great after the Majin Buu Saga. I do like Dragon Ball Super, but I feel like it's definitely overstayed its welcome. But you know, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're enjoying Dragon Ball Daima as much as I am. At the very least, it's hitting all the nostalgia points, so I'm gonna keep watching. Let me know what you think. Next, we gotta talk about Demon Lord 2099. Now, this is essentially the devil is a part-timer and cyberpunk anime had a baby, because that's essentially what it is. After the defeat of the Demon Lord back like, 500 years in the past, he gets reincarnated into a world full of technology, full of magic, because essentially our Earth and the magical world that the Demon Lord used to live in, it was merged together, and essentially we got technology and magic kind of fusing together, and we see that in today's world, in 2099, everybody's more powerful than the Demon Lord. So this anime, at least from episode 1, it has me intrigued because we're gonna see the Demon Lord try to take over the world once again, and he essentially has no followers, he's not the strongest, and we're just gonna see how he's going to do this, right? So episode 1 has me intrigued. I don't think it's going to go the route of like the devil is a part-timer, which is essentially the same premise, right? Where the Demon Lord was reincarnated into modern world times, and he's working at McDonald's, and it's more comedic. Hopefully it doesn't take that route, because I honestly would love to see the Demon Lord take over the world once again, right? And see how that's going to go, especially with his, followers, and how essentially his race of people, the immortals, are being hunted and all that crazy stuff, right? So we're gonna see where it goes, but at least from episode 1, I'm happy. I'm gonna keep watching. Next, we gotta talk about Hi Gakura. Now, this one I really didn't know too much about going in. I haven't even seen the trailer, and I will say, at least from episode 1, I really wasn't feeling it. Now, the story is about, some evil gods that were sealed. 2 of them escaped, and the main character, essentially, they use some sort of dance and singing to capture gods. Now, supposedly in this world, there's like millions of gods that throughout the time they have been sealed, and some of these Kashikan, who are the people responsible for capturing them and sealing them inside their necklace, they go around doing this, right? So the main character, he's trying to capture these evil gods so he can return back to his normal life and way of living. And also, I believe he's trying to help his dad, who also has been sealed. Something weird like that. Again, I really wasn't feeling episode 1. I will say it does remind me kind of like the old 90s anime. I don't know how old the manga is, but at the very least from the art style, it gives me that vibe. But let me know if you're a manga reader. Let me know if you were looking forward to this one. I feel like episode 1 just didn't do a good job at grabbing my attention or making me care about all of these characters. And I will say the main character with the screamo music, because he does seem to be kind of like a misfit when it comes to all these Kashikan who can go around and sing and dance to capture gods. His way of doing it is through like screamo music, which is completely not normal in this world, and I guess it's OP. But yeah, I don't like screamo music, so maybe that's why I wasn't really liking episode 1. But let me know what you think. I don't judge. This might be a great anime down the road, but at least for me in episode 1, I'm gonna have to drop it. Next, we gotta talk about probably one of my most surprised anime of the season, and that of course is Orb on the Movements of the Earth. Now, I will say, big disclaimer here, I definitely do think this anime is not for everybody, because if you're expecting some action-packed, crazy fights, kind of like battle shonen, you're not gonna get that here. At least not from what we got from the first 2 episodes. But if you like historical stuff, I think you're gonna enjoy this. It follows the main character, Rafael, who essentially is a genius when it comes to astronomy. Now, the problem is that this kind of back like in the 1400s, like European time, where the church is like doing a whole inquisitions with scientists and their research, and anything that counters what the church says, they're not having a good time. This anime definitely has some dark tones because it deals with torture and it's very graphic at times. But like I said, it doesn't seem like this anime is going to be focusing on action and stuff like that. I definitely do feel it's more about the research and the journey and what some of these scientists are sacrificing in order to fulfill their dreams, right? Of researching and understanding how the world works. Now, this is said during the time where, everybody thought Earth was the center of the universe, when in reality, now in 2024, we know that's not the case. So imagine living in a time where if you were to say something that crazy, heresy, yeah, you will be burnt, you will be tortured. Yeah, this anime definitely has me hooked. It definitely does feel like it's inspired by true historical events. I don't know how accurate they are, right? I'm not a historical person. I don't know nothing about that, but hey, I'm enjoying every episode so far. I'm glad that Netflix dropped 2 episodes because it definitely sets the tone and I'm here for it. Can't wait for episode 3. But if you haven't seen this one, check it out. But again, it's definitely not for everybody. You definitely do have to like this type of historical stuff. Otherwise, you're probably not gonna enjoy it. Now, there's one more anime that I'm still waiting to watch that's gonna be coming out tomorrow, and that of course is Shangri-La Frontier. But honestly, if you've seen season 1, we're getting season 2, so you should know what you're gonna be getting, right? I love season 1, can't wait to see season 2, and that's pretty much it. That's everything that I'm watching this season. So if you watch part 1 and part 2, yeah, that's pretty much everything I'm gonna be watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's some anime that I missed or some anime that I should check out, because again, we get so many anime every season that I just don't watch all of them, especially if I'll read the synopsis or watch the trailer. It doesn't really call to me, right? But yeah, let me know what you're watching this anime season, and like always, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode. Peace out.